Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to the explainer. Have you ever read a piece of text that's just so incredibly short, yet so deeply unsettling that it literally sticks in your brain long after you finish the final word? Well, today we are looking at what I can only describe as an absolute masterclass in micro-storytelling. We're going to completely deconstruct a mere 41 words that perfectly execute a terrifying juxtaposition. It's this wild journey from pure, bright innocence straight into absolute, suffocating horror, and we're going to see exactly how the text pulls it off. So just take a look at this opening phrase. In the 70s, parents hired a clown. I want you to really put yourself in the trusting shoes of a parent back in the 1970s for a second. You know, it's a totally different era. Communities are super tight-knit. Kids play outside until the streetlights come on, and when a birthday rolls around, you naturally want to bring a little bit of magic right into your living room or your backyard. So you hear through word of mouth, and you hire a clown. It represents the absolute ultimate gesture of parental love and wholesome entertainment. You are basically bringing joy directly to your children. Act 1, the birthday party facade, building a false sense of security. See, the text doesn't actually start with fear. It deliberately establishes this super bright, upbeat setting. It's essentially laying down a foundation of pure innocence that makes the eventual drop so much more devastating. Let's walk through the entertainer's routine step by step. 1, he was hired for birthday parties. 2, he made balloon animals. 3, he told jokes. And 4, everyone laughed. It brings back a bit of nostalgia, doesn't it? It completely emphasizes the total, utter normalcy of the setup. I mean, nothing is out of the ordinary here. It's just a guy doing his job, entertaining kids, bringing smiles, and filling a room with the sounds of joy. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the name itself, Pogo. Pogo acts as the ultimate disarming mechanism within the text. Just think about how a name like that sounds to a child. It's bouncy, it's silly, it's completely non-threatening. This friendly persona was designed specifically to build trust, and not just with the kids laughing at the jokes, but critically with the parents who actually opened their doors and invited this entertainer into the safety of their homes. Act 2, the shift in tone. When the laughter stopped. You know, the most compelling narratives always rely on tension. The bright colors of the balloon animals fade away, the noise of the party dies down, and the reality of the situation takes a very sudden, very dark turn, forcing us to ask this critical question. But what happened after the laughter? This right here is the exact pivot point in our microstory. Literally everything before this was light, cheerful, and loud with joy. Everything after this is silent, dark, and filled with a growing, inescapable sense of dread. Then boys started disappearing. Just look at the stark, chilling brevity of that phrase. 4 words, that's it. It violently interrupts the mundane, cheerful birthday imagery we were just building up. Notice what the text doesn't do here. There are no gory details yet, no suspects named, just an ominous, quiet void where children used to be. The sharp contrast between the crowded, laughing birthday parties and the quiet disappearance of boys is exactly what makes this line so profoundly unsettling. Act 3, the horrific reality, unmasking the truth. Let's move to and see how this builds across time. In the 1970s, parents hired Pogo. Subsequently, boys started disappearing. And then we get the phrase, years later. Man, that phrase does incredibly heavy lifting here. It stretches out the agonizing mystery. It implies actual years of parents wondering, police frantically searching, and an entire community living in fear, totally unaware that the horrific answer was tied directly to those joyful birthday parties from their past, just waiting to be unearthed. They found the crawl space. Focus on the claustrophobic dread of that specific physical location for a second. A crawl space is dark, it's cramped, and it's hidden right beneath the floorboards of domestic everyday life. Finding the reality in a crawl space fundamentally shatters the innocence of the earlier parties. The horror wasn't lurking out in some distant, spooky woods somewhere. It was buried right under a normal house, carefully hidden by a man the community completely trusted. And this brilliantly illustrates the narrative power of juxtaposition. The text meticulously mirrors every single bright detail with a really dark consequence. On one side, the innocent setup, birthday parties. On the other, the grim reality, disappearing boys. We literally go from balloon animals and jokes, things filled with air and lightness, directly to the crawl space, a place utterly devoid of both. It's a structural masterpiece of tension in just a few short lines. So, The crucial point is how these two identities exist within the exact same space. On side one, we have Pogo, the figure who made balloons, told jokes, and made everyone laugh. On side two, we have the true identity unmasked by the text John Wayne Gacy and the devastating reality found in the crawl space. By placing these side by side, we see the ultimate betrayal of the parents' trust. They literally paid for joy and unknowingly invited a monster to entertain their children. The text leaves us with this final, definitive punch. He wasn't a clown. It completely strips away the makeup, the balloons, the entire facade in just 4 words. It forces us to confront the fact that monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they wear bright colors, they tell funny jokes, and they paint on a big smile to blend perfectly into our lives. Which leaves us with a terrifying thought to carry with us long after this explainer ends. If the most trusted purveyors of joy can hide such profound darkness, how often does true horror hide just out of sight, right behind a painted smile?